Good afternoon, everybody. And today is special life because we are finishing 2021. And we are finishing strong because dispatch never stops. Trucks never stop moving. America has to receive their holiday food, their presents, and we cannot uh, be be disregarding that without trucking, without transportation, without our truck drivers, America will not exist. So first, I would like to say thank you to all our partners. I would like to say thank you to all the carriers which I am part of as RTS agent, as insurance agent, as a safety and compliance manager. I appreciate you trusting my expertise. I appreciate that you giving me a chance to help you grow. And of course, I appreciate all our students for this year and previous year. We started strong with our online classes this year and we improved a lot, but it's just the beginning. And I would like to say that without you guys, without signing up for classes, without liking, commenting, sharing our videos, without your subscriptions, without membership, all of this would not be possible. So from the bottom of my heart, I'm very thankful. And today, we're still going to have a topic, right? Because I do believe that pro dispatchers and safety managers, owner of the companies, they have to be educated. Today's topic is what is the requirements for the markings? And some of you maybe have been confused. What do I mean by markings? Well, that means signage, right? So what has to be on your truck? So let's look what is FMCSA telling us what we have to display on the truck. And of course, I am always sharing the slides, guys, right? So you can see. Well, FMCSA requires that CMV, and the meaning of that is commercial motor vehicle, right? It's not a passenger vehicle, it's commercial motor vehicle. And we have different types, right? We have semi trucks, we have straight trucks, we have sprinters, we have different type of equipments, we have reefers, we have dry vans, we have canistogas, flatbeds, step decks, low boys. We can go on and on and on. But that's what means commercial motor vehicle. Have to be marked with legal name. Or if they are doing business as, it has to be on their signs. And the information has to correspond with MCS 150. For new people who did not open company yet, for some people who learning how to dispatch or just came to join us in transportation, MCS 150, this is an application to obtain MC number, motor carrier number, which gives you permission to go on the road and become interstate carrier. So one more time for new people, if you're going out of state, if you go anywhere in USA, maybe even just 2 states, you are interstate carrier. If you stay inside of the state, then you are intrastate carrier. Inside, from the Latin word in intra, inside. In that case, you're not gonna have motor carrier number. You're only gonna have USDOT number. Okay? So you already guys learning, right? Interstate, intrastate, MC, USDOT. So lots of companies, they do go to different states, right? Because that's what we do. We have a big truck. Usually, if you go out of state, you're going to have 53 feet trailer, whatever you decide. When Conestoga, dry van, flatbeds, a lot of times use 48 because it's easier for them. So we're going to go on a road. Before the vehicle can go on a road, we have some rules and regulations. Yesterday we were discussing with you what has to be done for driver to be able to go on the road. And we only discuss one part, the drug and alcohol testing, right? Hopefully you guys watched. If not, please make sure you watch it one more time. Drug and alcohol clearinghouse. Also, we were going through UCR registration, right? United Care registration, who has to have it, why trucking company has to pay it, how it's done. So you are guys almost a pro. And today we're just gonna finish up what has to go on side of your truck. So let's see. So FMCSA tells you, let me close this so you can have a better view, that this is the rule 390.21. When you guys gonna become safety managers, you guys gonna start memorizing some of those main rules. So all the markings are under the rule 390.21. And it says that the signs have to be displayed on both sides. I'm gonna take the bigger truck, right? It has to be on both sides of the vehicle. You need to make sure that you have to display your USDOT number. MC is not mandatory to be on your truck. And you have to make sure that it says USDOT number, United States Department of Transportation, and the number, right? They also telling you that letters have to be sharp. So if you have a gray truck, right? Pretty simple, right? It cannot be gray lettering. It can be white, maybe it can be green. So it's easy to read, right? So it's really easy to see. So make sure that it's contrast. It depends what kind of truck you have. So if you have white truck, you cannot put the white lettering, right? They are specific on that, because when you're driving, they want to make sure that public can see which company it is. When you go to a wait station, they want to see which company, so it's easier for them to read, right? Also, another rule is that the letters have to be minimum of 2 inches. Okay, this is an absolute minimum. I had lots and lots of people who went and they made signs, not from people who've been dealing with trucking, and they create a beautiful logo, they create a beautiful signs, but the size is not a minimum of 2 inches. Well, this is already at fault. So you will get violation for that. Also, instead of putting USDOT, United States Department of Transportation, you put DOT. And guys, I am guilty of that, because when I came to trucking business, nobody told me. So 8-9 years ago, I made the signs. And my guy who was designing signs, because my name was longer and my logo was beautiful with colors, he says, you know what? That USDOT is too long. Let me shorten that everything is even. I'm like, okay, DOT number. Everything was good for a year and a half. And then suddenly my truck was going through Oregon and got violation for markings of the truck. So they told me that my signs only said DOT. So my driver had to stop, buy 2 letters, US, put it in front of both sides, and I had to reorder all the new signs for all trucks. So please make sure you learn it from me, so you don't have to invest some money and then make sure that all the trucks come through where your business is and you have to reapply. And sometimes it's not that easy to reapply. So again, what's going to happen? What's going to be on the sign? It's going to be name of your company by MCS 150. Or if you put DBA, but also it was supposed to be on MCS 150. Then you're going to put US DOT number. If you would like to put MC number, I still do. I put MC number. Then you need to have a city and a state. You don't have to put the street, but the city and a state. Okay? What else is gonna go? Well, we have some states which we have permits, right? We have to get permits in Kentucky. We have to get permits in New York. We have to get permits for New Mexico and Oregon. Those 4 states, right? New York, Kentucky, New Mexico, and Oregon. So the only lettering or account you will be displaying, this will be Kentucky number. Kentucky number is given to your company. So each truck will have the same number. So you have Alex Transportation, Chicago, Illinois, USDOT number 55555, right? If I want to put AMC 66666, it's there. And then KYU number, which is always going to be the same until you close account. If you're going out of the business, you have to close Kentucky account. Or if you forgot to pay your IFTA and you are late, they will cancel your account. Okay, so now we add in KYU number for Kentucky. When you add in your trucks for Kentucky, they go by the plate number, make, right? VIN number. So when people enter Kentucky, they don't really stop you because they go by plate number. They do have wait stations, right? And they take a picture and they see if the truck have been entered. Here's my advice, guys. You have owners, operators who work for you. Remember when we were doing UCR, one guy had to wait until his owner operator is telling him if he is going to be staying with him. Remember one thing for my future safety managers, for owners of the company. Every time you add or remove truck, you have to go to all those states and add or remove inventory. So if this guy is leaving you, you have to go to Kentucky. You have to go to New York account, your account, New Mexico, to Oregon, and you need to remove that truck, okay? You don't want to keep inventory if the guy is not working for you, because what's going to happen? Kentucky might say, well, you never removed him. Now you have to pay for all his miles. And if the guy never changed the sign here, he might still drive in with your number. So you don't want that to happen. So now we have Kentucky, right? What else has to be there? Some of you know that we have special rules for entering Colorado, right? So what is Colorado wants? Well, they don't want permit. They don't want no stickers. They don't want, but they want you to display 8 last number from your VIN of your truck. Not 6, not 4, not 16, but 8. So write it down. The last 8 numbers of your VIN has to be displayed if you ever go through Colorado State. You might not deliver, but if you go from Chicago, you go to Los Angeles, you will be passing Colorado, right? Maybe not now if that's snow and you guys are gonna go down through Oklahoma and New Mexico. But if you ever enter in Colorado, you need to make sure it's displayed. What else has to be displayed? Well, we need to make sure, and here is kind of, Paul's truck in Macon, Georgia, USDOT. This is just a sample from somebody who does signs. So they are telling the sizing, 3-inch, 2-inch, 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 2-inch. Guys, you can create, you can put logos as long as you have KYU, USDOT. Again, MC is optional. It's up to you. So if you don't have space, don't put it. Just make sure you have USDOT number, name of the company. If you're doing as a DBA, it has to be their DBA as maybe PT Inc. because it's Paul's Trucking. You have to display. What else do we need to put? So let's continue. Well, you know what? I think I skipped this one and we're gonna go to IFTA decals, right? And then we'll come back to the folder of the drivers. So what is the IFTA decals? This is an example for what? For 2021. So today is the last day of 2021. You should already have the call for your IFTA if you've been running, right? Most of you already renew IFTA license because it is due by January 1st. Most of you printed it and make sure that it's in folder for your truck, a folder. But also you have to make sure that your driver adds the IFTA sticker. And please make sure, do not remove the previous one. You should have the last 3 years. So if you started in 2019, 19, 20, 21, 22, now you can remove 19, but please keep IFTA 2020, 2021, and add a new one. So usually IFTA stickers, they come, here is going to be your state where you have your IFTA account, right? So in this case, it's Wisconsin. It's going to have the call number, right? Every decal has a different number. Make sure when you give it to your truck, you keep the registry, and we're going to go over it in IFTA class. We're going to make sure you know how to prepare yourself for IFTA audits. So now you have IFTA sticker. Well, what else we need to have? Well, we have to be safe on the road, right? In case of the emergencies. Our drivers need to make sure that they have what? That they have fire extinguisher inside, right? Lots of people receive violations because they don't mount them correct, because they already discharged, so they're not in good condition. But this has to be on side of your truck that you do have fire extinguisher inside, okay? So far, what do we have? We have a sign with trucking company, with city and state. USDOT number, MC is optional. KYU Kentucky number has to be there. If you go into Colorado, you're going to have the 8 digits of your VIN number for this exactly truck. And now you add in fire extinguisher side. Well, what else is new? Well, remember, now we added ELD. So now you're going to have an extra sticker which says that you do have electronic device on board. Usually you get it from the company. For example, if my drivers use TFM, they have a sticker from TFM. If they use GPS tab, most of my customers, because we are partners with them, they use GPS tab. Great service. I love their TMS, and actually their GPS support is awesome. They are local in Chicago, also built by Ukrainians, and I just have a good relationship. So when you buy equipment, they send you the stickers, of course, for both sides of your truck. If something happened and maybe it's got damage, just reach out to them. You can buy it, or they can send it to you as a free extra sign, but make sure you have it. So we have fire extinguisher, we have ELD on board, right? What else do we need to have? This is on side of the truck. Then we add in New York sticker, right? Right now we add in Hot 24 series, right? New York sticker, when you get the stickers, they tell you that it has to go in front, not on the side, but it has to go in front on the driver's side, right here on the bumper. We renew them every 2 years. So whoever got stickers right now, when you and you need to remove the previous one. So you put it on top or you remove, right? You're good for 2 years. It's called hot, right? How do you do it? We learned it in IFTA class, in safety class. If you never go through New York State, you're not passing through, you do not need to have New York sticker. Okay? So far, if you guys go to East Coast, you have an extra thing on your truck, right? We kind of done with what? We done with the truck. So that's all you have. If you decide to put, I don't know what you decide to put there. I don't think it's going to be much space left there, but That's all you need to have. Now we're gonna go to markings of the trailer. So let's pretend that this is, I mean, it's not pretend, but kind of trailer, right? What do you need to have? First, on the back, you need to make sure that you have a sticker, big sticker saying that this vehicle makes wide turns. Remember? You have to tell the public when you guys turning, you might be going on a second lane because it's a big equipment. It's 53 feet, right? You also have to put on the back and on the side how big is your trailer. So if this 53 feet, make sure you put 53 feet, 53 feet. And actually, people like to put it inside for shippers and receivers so they know for sure, right? So far, you just put in the sticker here with the size. Is it 53? Is it 48? Is it 26? So those are markings for the trailers. Of course, you have the plate number for your trailer. You have the plate number for your truck, right? All the I-passes, all the tolls are go by plate of your truck or your trailer. Okay. What else? Any questions so far about markings of the truck? Let me go through the comments and then we're gonna go to the truck folder. What has to be in a truck folder? So let me see who is watching us today. Wow, we have a new member, Dmitry Tolkachov. Thank you. We have Sheena. Hello, everyone. We have Queen Redwine. Well, congratulations on your first carrier. She was a winner for award for the free class. And she emailed me yesterday or day before saying that she finally got her first carrier. So see, universe is helping her to achieve the dreams. Who else we have? Jerry. Hello, happy new year. Here to a successful 2022. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Ariel. Happy new year to everybody from Brazil. Yeah, so you are gonna have happy new year faster than us. You're ahead of us, right? How important it is to know the time zones, right? Even if you're gonna be working outside of the country, you need to know the time zones in USA because it's so important when you're going to be scheduling those transit, right? And we usually in trucking, we have Eastern Central, we have Central, we have Mountain and Pacific. Everything else, we're not swimming, we're not flying, we are trucks. So you need to make sure you know that. And it doesn't matter where you at because at that moment, we do not really care what time zone in where you at, right? In Brazil or in Europe or in Ukraine or maybe Belgium, right? We don't really care at that point because we're working for the USA companies. You also have to understand holidays, right? Because we come from different religion beliefs, we come from different countries, but you will be working for American carrier, for American company. America does not stop. We do not have luxury of having breaks like in Europe, right? For example, my marketing director, she went on vacation from the December 22nd till January 3rd because that's what they do. All country goes on break. Unfortunately, in America, we don't have that luxury, right? Unless you work for yourself, but especially in trucking, we keep going. Even today, I had to reschedule my life because I had to make sure everybody's dispatched, right? So I had to start it later. Sorry about this. Okay, who else do we have? We have Alex, as always. Happy New Year, the best instructor. Thank you for the best students, and Happy New Year. We have Steve. Happy New Year. Been following up on Alex for months from the outside, looking glad to catch a live. Thank you. Again, hello from Olga. Happy New Year. Looking forward for very productive, blessed 2021. Well, you're in Colorado, right? So now you know, entering and getting out on truck, you will need to have the last 8 of the VIN number. Hello. Happy New Year. This is a very good class. Thank you. We have never noticed the sticker for fire extinguisher or driver's ELD sticker. Just pull up a picture of a cap of the truck with all of the stickers you have just explained and where they all were. Well, that's what we do here, right? We learn. So, and again, lots of people do not follow the regulations, but you guys follow me. You sign up for my classes because you want to be a pro, right? So let's keep going. So all of the markings are done. Again, if you change in company, you will need to remove. My advice to you, it's very hard for drivers if you make signs and it's like a different lines and they have to cut it and put those wordings. So after my first or second year, I went to like kind of square. Maybe it doesn't look as good, but at least it's easier for the driver to put it on a truck, because guys, this is kind of a not easy task to do sometimes. So I forgot, because being woman in a business, I wanted to have a funny signs. I wanted to make sure it's all good. No, it did not work. So went back to simple sign, making sure it's easy for my driver, making sure, please double check. Another time when I was reordering those signs with a corrected USDOT, well, guy who was doing it, he put the wrong number. Instead of 3, he put 2 somehow. And again, I didn't pay attention until what? Because I thought it's done correct, right? Until the truck was stopped in New York and it said that the MC USDOT was displayed wrong. I learned my lesson twice, guys. Had to redo all the signs, had to make sure they are easier and it was simple for the driver. So that's what you guys gonna do. Double check that number a few times. KYU number, WIN number. A lot of times people make mistakes in the WIN numbers because those are long. Usually it's combinations of the letters and numbers. Even when you will be adding inventory, double check for New Mexico, for Oregon, and for New York and Kentucky. Double check those loan numbers. A lot of times I'm saying we are human beings. We do make mistakes. So just double check. Now, what else do we have to have? Well, we need to have a folder, right, in our truck. Why do we have to have a folder? Because when our driver gets stuff for inspection, they want to make sure what paperwork driver has. Do they operate legally, right? So let's see what has to be in that folder. So we're talking about truck folder, the folder you are giving to the driver in each truck. So I like first to make sure that those folders are clean and nice looking. Sometimes drivers can spill the coffee. They just take them sometimes with, dirty gloves. And after a while, they kind of get unpleasant. So after a month or 2, you should change that folder, because picture yourself. You are an inspector, right? You stop the driver. And here you have driver who gives you a clean, nice, organized folder, right? And then you have a driver who just grabs the folder from somewhere, because yes, it happens. We in truck, they go under the pressure. Sometimes it's not that clean, or sometimes you do spill the coffee. So he gives this folder which have never been changed for the last two years, and it's old and it doesn't look good, or information is not updated. What happens? This is the first impression you give to inspector. So make sure you treat the truck folders as a face of your company, right? So pay attention. Every 2-3 months, make sure the drivers get a new folder, the new plastic sheets, so it looks clean and nice. So let's go. Now we have a folder. What has to go there? Well, first, on the front, what I like to put personally, again, I like to put the name of the company. I like to put the physical address. I like to put MC, USDOT, even the tax number, the phone they can reach owner or the safety manager, right? I like to include email if they need to email something, right? And of course, fax number. Nowadays, we stop using really fax, but still you have internet fax, you can include the fax. So this is the beginning of your folder. So usually we buy those folders when you can just put it inside, make sure all information is correct. Then we open the folder. And what has to be there? Well, first, what has to be there? Well, insurance and proof of your motor carrier certificate, right? So you need to have certificate of insurance and cab cards. Pay attention. Your insurance agent has to give the cab cards for each truck. Exactly for this Freightliner with a VIN number ending in 5555, right? Exactly cab card for this reefer with VIN number ending in 777, right? So cab cards and the main certificate of insurance. Also what? Proof of your MC. How are you going to get it? When you guys are approved and you granted MC, you receive that letter. Starting today, Alex Transportation is good to go, and your MC number 77775 and your USDOT number 55567. So from that moment, you are active carrier. So that's proof of MC. What else has to be there? If you do have ICC certificate, for example, in this case, I gave you example of interstate carrier certificate, Illinois. If I'm only staying in Illinois and I got ICC number for local trips, right? I need to make sure I also put that number on the truck, right? ICC number, interstate carrier certificate. So if you guys have that, make sure you display. So I'm going to keep that in truck. What else? If I have lease agreement, right? If I have lease agreement, if I have owner operator who has this truck, he owns the truck, but he comes to work for me as an owner operator, I need to make sure I have the lease agreement right there in that folder. Yes? Okay, so we're good on this. Then we need to make sure we have the permits for what? For Kentucky, New Mexico, right? And New York. If you do have annual permit for Oregon, then you include it there. If not, you're going to get temporary every time you enter Oregon. And we are learning this in our IFTA class because you guys need to know how to obtain those, what does it take, what is IFTA requirements are there. So we're covering that in IFTA class, which coming up on January 16th. But now you have it. If you have any permits, are there, right? And Kentucky number is on outside. Okay. Then we have registration, right? Truck registration for this year. Every state has registration starting in different months. So we in Illinois, our new registration is starting from April 1st. So we have registration going till March 31st. So now in my truck, I need to make sure I have the registration. You know what? I'll just even gonna stop and grab you one. So usually that's what the registration looks, right? So you have the company number. You have to have it in your folders, in your company, but also in truck folder. You also have to have registration for your trailer. Truck registration renews every year. Trailer registration is done once, unless you guys gonna be reselling equipment, right? And you change the owners and you have to go and register. But when you got the trailer and you register, that's it. That's your registration, right? So it has to be in a folder. For truck, you're going to add it. It depends on the state you're located. So let's recap one more time. We have insurance with the cab cards. We have proof of our motor carrier certificate from FMCSA. If you have intrastate carrier certificate, common carrier, you have the ICC certificate. If you have lease agreement, you're going to put it in a folder. Also, you're going to have permits for Kentucky, New Mexico, New York, and Oregon, if you do have annual one. Also, you're going to have current truck registration and trailer registration. And of course, look at this. Annual inspection on truck and trailer. And it must be valid. It has to be valid. So if you did your annual registration in August, usually it's good for a year. And it's so funny, but you can go and you can buy truck and trailer registration samples, actually forms on Truck Stop, or you can order them online, right? And I've seen a lot of people, especially in Chicagoland, faking them. So if you guys fake them and you don't really go and you check on your truck and trailer that they're in working condition, well, first of all, you're just ruining your safety, because anyway, it's gonna kick you back in you just backstabbing yourself anyway. But at least if you fake and make sure that you're not copying from truck registration for the trailer, because I've seen annual inspections for the trailer which have windshield, right? We have people who copy and they don't even pay attention. The annual registration for truck and trailer has a different answers to some of the questions. So if you fake, at least pay attention to what you're faking. But my advice for you guys, go and get the real annual inspection. Go and get an annual inspection for trailer. But if you want to succeed, you're not just gonna do it once a year. You're gonna do it every 3 to 4 months, because sometimes you don't see the things which needs to be fixed. You don't want to get to the point when your driver is gonna get stopped because his brakes are not working, because his airline is not working properly, because their tires are illegal, right? You want to make sure that you check on your equipment, especially if that's not just you, especially if you have so many different drivers with a different attitude and qualifications working for you. You want to make sure that you do the inspection, not just annually. But in the folder, that's what you do. You put annual inspection, valid one. Make sure it's valid, right? Also, a lot of people are mismatching the numbers, because in America we put what? We put month first, the 12th, then the day 31st, and 2021, for example, year. I had drivers who went and they paid for the annual inspection, but those were European shops. And instead of putting the month first, they put the day first. So he did get the right inspection, but if you really read, it's already expired, right? Because sometimes if you mismatch, or it doesn't make sense, because we don't have 27 months, we don't have 28 months, we don't have 17 months. So they just misplace because they come from Europe or Asia, and that's what it is. Again, pay attention. So you put annual inspection there. What else? You have to have IFTA license. So on the truck, we need to have IFTA decal. It's called decal. It's not sticker. It's IFTA decals. But inside of the folder, you guys gonna put IFTA license. And renewal of IFTA license is due by tomorrow. So all of you should have already done it. Also, you can include UCR registration, right? We covered it 2 days ago. You should put UCR registration in the folder, because why not? It's not mandatory, but it shows that you follow all the rules and regulations. I did not even include it there. You need to make sure you have 8 days. You cannot really see. Let me switch to this. 8 days of logbooks and bill of ladings. And the last 8 of Colorado, this is for your truck, right? Well, since we have ELD now, we have to have something which is called, I am going to show you now. DOT card, right? Dot card for your ELD. Let me find really fast. Let me find DOT reference card. For example, I'm gonna open this one. Save and open. Showing a folder. Hold on a second. Sorry, I wasn't prepared. I should have opened one. Here you go. So in the pants, which provider do you use? They have to give you DOT reference card, right? Where it says what you have to do in case of malfunction, all the steps for you, for the officer. Again, this will come from different providers, right? This will come from, in this case, it's TFM. If you have the GPS tab, it will come from GPS. If you have Keep Trucking, it's going to come from Keep Trucking. If you have Rhino, whatever ELD, it's going to come from them. So you need to make sure it is in your folder. What else has to be there? You need to have manual per FMCSA rules and regulations. This manual must be kept in the vehicle at all the time. So again, who is going to give it to you? All the instructions, how to download, how to fix in case of malfunction, right? So you need to have this instruction in every truck. But what do we have to have in case of malfunction? Let's say your ELD stopped working. First, you will need to make sure that you have a letter about malfunction. So your safety department has to contact ELD and they have to issue you the letter that from this time to this time, it's been malfunction. We are looking to fix it. You need to have that letter. But can you keep driving? No. You have to start using paper logbook. So the rule says, in a folder of your truck, you need to have at least one new logbook, paper logbook, right there. My advice, I always give to my drivers 2, because if it was malfunction and he started using, this is already not new, right? So I always keep even more than 2. So you need to have backup. If you're gonna get stopped, and you're just going to tell officer, well, I have malfunction, my ELD is not working, and all of this, and you're going to show them all this red stuff or whatever's going on, he's going to say, okay, where's your paper logbook? And you're going to tell him, well, I got loaded and I could not find the paper logbook. And he's going to tell you this. Well, but the rules and regulations are stating that every truck folder has to have backup for ELD malfunction, right? So again, guys, maybe you get lucky and he's going to let you go and just gives you warning. But a lot of times it's going to be a violation on your company and also on you. Just kind of helping drivers. Sometimes drivers think that, well, all these violations has nothing to do with me. Yes, some violations are never going to go on your MVR record if you're not speeding, if you don't have DUIs, if you did not change lanes properly, but they still go on your PSP record, right? And that's what we use as carriers. We do not only check your MVR, but we also check your PSP if we are really doing safety. Another topic which we will be covering in safety class. So PSP record will show every time when you got stopped, if you had a good or bad inspection and all the violations, right? Sometimes, and I always had a hard time with the drivers who would tell me, well, I had all those violations on illegal tires because the owners of the company didn't want to spend money on the new tires. Well, I was faking logbook because they were pushing me. Well, I had illegal tires, blah, blah, blah. It's always excuses. Guys, we are professional drivers, right? You have to do PTI, pre-trip inspection. So when inspector stops you and you have no logbooks, you have expired annual inspection, or you have 5 illegal tires, right? You cannot blame it on the owner of the company, because as a driver, you should say, you know what? I am not going to be driving equipment which is not maintained, because actually this is violation of the rules. So instead of blaming somebody else, just start doing the job. And sometimes, yes, you will need to leave that company, because if they don't want to maintain their equipment and they are pushing you to go and take team loads, or they're pushing you to drive, especially right now in the winter, on illegal tires, or they don't have money to buy chains for you right now, or they don't have a good ELD, or they don't even have a folder for you, well, you're not ruining just their record, you're ruining yours. So make sure you know this. It's a lot of trucking companies who is pleasure to work with, who will treat you and pay you on time. So it's up to you, right? But we're going back. So we have instructions, right? So that's what it's called. It's called manual, right? And again, it's going to be given from your provider, and DOT reference card. Well, what else? Well, Happy New Year, not yet. So what else? We have that. We have logbook, medical card, right? As a driver, you need to have your medical card. You need to make sure you have your valid CDL. And because we are part of drug and alcohol program, we need to make sure we have at least 2 new sets for drug and alcohol. Chain of custody. Write it down. This is a chain of custody. So when you guys enroll in MedStop or Quest Diagnostic or any third-party consortium, or you manage your own drug and alcohol, you will be given chain of custody form, which has your DOT, which has your company address, name of the company, in case of what? In case of accidents. Because we're going to learn in a safety class, when we involve in accident and somebody got hurt, or some vehicles had to be towed away, our drivers have to go and do drug test, right? Within 8 hours if somebody was killed, within 24 hours, right, if it was no fatalities. So if you're a driver somewhere in, let's say, in Alabama or New Mexico or in Washington, but your company located in Chicago, well, he cannot swim or fly to Chicago within 8 hours. He's going to go to closest drug facility, but he needs to have the chain of custody form. So I think we covered all of this, right? Any questions on our object today? So, and of course, if you have a hazmat, right? If you have a hazmat, you're gonna include your permit for hazmat. You're gonna make sure that you have all those plat cards. If you have Canadian authority, you're gonna have that included. If you go to Mexico, you guys gonna include that. So far, that's what all you need to have in the folder of the truck and on the side of your truck. Let's see. Happy New Year. We are still learning. Thank you, Alice. Learning lots from you. Any questions? I just finished tracking, so I'm still looking forward to following in your footsteps as a dispatcher. Thank you. With multiple trucks, copies of user manual or original. No, it has to be copies. Nowadays, everybody's just emailing them. So if you ask them, they can mail you a good, colorful copies, but usually they just email to you and you have to print. I advise, we work with a GPS, they ask you, do you want us mail it to you? I advise to get mail because it's a nice copy. It's a hard copy with all the colors and you deserve to have a good stickers, right? So good copy of it and order few, right? Because again, you will need to replace it. So ask them, well, we have 3 trucks. Can we have a good hard copies, maybe for 8 copies? Because every 3-4 weeks, 3-4 months, you will be replacing. And then you can buy. Usually they say them for $3, or you can just go and print it. Okay, we have a 30 and list it under it many non-CDL trucks. We have a 30 and leasing under. I don't know exactly. Can you? So should not say many, but some. Okay, I kind of lost. Well, again, thank you for tuning in today. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, subscribe, and share. I still have my Christmas spirit. Let's see another. Owner operator one truck. Who is to be included in chain of custody? You will be included as a driver, because even if it's one truck, you have to have drug and alcohol program for your company. So you will still need to have proof of running query. Remember yesterday from clearinghouse, pre-employment query. You will need to have all driver qualification files on you from your company, right? Driver application, verification, MVR, PSP, clearinghouse, contract, road test, and everything else. So still the same paperwork, even if it's just your company, but it has some tweaks, because you cannot just take test road you and you, right? So you need to assign somebody who has a CDL. It's a lot of things we are covering. And again, guys, as a reminder, IFTA starting on January 16, it's $349. And it's 4 hours. We're going to be covering filing. We're going to see the live filing for New Mexico, for Oregon, for Kentucky, for New York. We're also going to see how to open their accounts. But the most important, what paperwork has to be kept, because audits for IFTA are taking up to 4 years. For IRP accounts, 6 years. You have to maintain paperwork, right? And our safety class is starting on the 30th. Some people are taking both of them. That's why IFTA 16th. So you have time to file your IFTA. And then we start strong with safety training 4 times once a week. Lots of studying, lots of paperwork, and lots of understanding, and just making a system. Safety is not hard. You just need to learn and just to follow the steps. Okay. I guess the question is if we are responsible for the DOT packets or the owner operators are. Well, if you are dispatcher, that whoever owns the company, they are responsible for that. But as a dispatcher, you just need to know what goes there, because again, what are we trying to do? We're trying to help them to stay compliant, right? We want to make sure that they don't have violations. So as a dispatcher, you can say, well, hello, Mike, I just want to make sure. Do you have everything updated? Annual inspection. Do you have an extra paper logbook? Did you renew your license? Make sure you put it, just as a reminder, right? Because that's what we do. We help them to keep going. And a lot of them, they are just small companies, right? We're not talking about working for the corporate big offices. We don't have HR departments unless you work for the big carriers. We're going to be working for the small trucking companies, 1 to 5 trucks, 1 to 15s, because trucking companies who have more than 25 units, they already have safety department. Big companies, they have HR department, they have all the other departments. But that's not what we are learning here. We are learning how to become independent dispatchers for smaller carriers, how help small carriers to succeed, still make money, right? And what they have to do. And dispatchers, usually, we should keep them on top and remind them, because most of those guys are still driving, right? And it is challenging to work for small businesses. Some of you have a big, extensive experience, but things change. Maybe you moved to a different country. Maybe you lost your job to the COVID. You have to understand, working for the small business, especially in America, it's different than working to the corporate offices, right? Yes, a lot of times you will be stepping up in a different shoes, and you will need to help them. You will need to succeed them. And yes, maybe relationship is not going to be as official, right? Because you have to do the tasks. It's not a corporate America, right? It's not an international big company. So if some of you come with the attitude that, well, I used to do this and this, I used to work in a university, and now I have to dispatch trucks, oh, everything is not organized. Guys, come on. We working for the small business. We work for the small carriers. So it's a different attitude. It's a different atmosphere, right? So please make sure you know this. And if that's not something you can do, or your ego does not let you continue and still make sure that they succeed and you make them profitable and you actually make more money than you used to work somewhere in big corporate offices which did not compensate you or were taking advantage of you, you just need to change attitude. You need to understand it's different, right? So what else? Thank you for tuning up. We already said that. Owner operator, I guess the questions were responsible. Okay, I guess that was the last question. So no more question. Again, thank you for showing up today. We would like to wish you a happy new year, right? We are wishing you a happy new year from RTS, because as many of you know that I work for RTS as an agent. So if you do need factoring and you want to grow, make sure you contact me. And of course, we are wishing you a happy, here, see, I have too many screens. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Oh my God. See, guys, I'm already talking too much. That's time to go and start cooking the new year dinner. Happy New Year 2022 from Dispatch Service and also Dispatch Training Center, and also personally from me. Thanks to all my carriers. Thank you to all my students. Thanks to all my supporters. Thanks for my family, my close friends. And hopefully that 2022 will bring you lots of success, lots of joy. But the most important, make sure you stay healthy, make sure you stay close to your family, and hopefully we're not gonna have another shutdown. We're not gonna have all this nonsense with the COVID. Hopefully it's gonna be over soon and we can just continue grow, we can learn and become better. And hopefully we can change industry for better. So on this note, I would like to tell you one more time, enjoy your holidays. Some of you I will see in my classes. And if not in my classes, just continue watching and improving yourself. Okay? So again, Happy New Year and Happy New Year and love from everybody else. I'll see you soon, guys. Enjoy.